All right, Sam Schluter here, the straight shooter, and oh man, I'm very excited about this next guest. I just met her moments ago. I like to keep things organic, so I just already want to get into it. Mrs. Misty Lynn Martinez, she's a marketing director of Steel Fist Fight Night, and she manages the media and the promotion side of things. And we're gonna get real quick without wasting any time. Please welcome and be, I'm so humbled and I welcome Misty Lynn Martinez.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. I am so honored to meet you. Like I was telling everybody, I just met you moments ago, so I just wanted to dive in real quick. So we know you're the marketing director of Steel Fist Fight Night, right? And tell us a
Yes.
little bit. How did you get into the martial arts world? And were you young, or is it just something that just fell upon you? And we're interested to know about that.
Okay. So my martial arts journey started almost probably a long time ago. I think it was back in 2013. Um, I was coming out of a bad divorce, domestic violence, and
Hmm.
a lot of bad situations were happening. So I came back to Utah, and I decided that I didn't want to be a victim anymore, and I wasn't ever going to let that happen again. So I started training at the pit. I'm sure you guys kind of know what the pit is.
Right, right.
Right. So we had a small gym here in Utah, and we had a lot of the big names like Ramsey Najim and his brother, and Brock Jardine. We had, some of the UFC fighters like Fort McGee was there. Um, so me and the kids started training there because at the time, I had my 4 kids, and we all started training there in jujitsu, boxing. We did a little bit of wrestling. We did a lot of Muay Thai. And as a family, we decided that we liked jujitsu more. So we dedicated most of our time in jujitsu as a family. And then we went on to compete at the championship, Naga championship and stuff like that.
Nice.
And at the peak of our training, me and the kids, we took first place in our divisions. And we were just really excited about that as a family because, that was kind of unheard of back then, a single mom, with 4 kids competing
Right.
all at the same time. And
It
it
looks
was just a
good
lot of
too.
fun. So we came home with a lot of trophies, and the kids were really excited. And from there, I just got a lot of involvement with women's MMA, I guess.
Right.
And I did a lot of the self-defense training for some of the ladies here in Utah, and I just really enjoyed it. But then I picked up Steel Fist. When I started working for them, it was just so exciting because it was right up, my alley. It was everything I liked. Everybody pretty much knew me from the pit. Um, and it just became so natural. So then working there, I've been there ever since. I've never stopped. And we put on, MMA events here in Utah probably almost every month. So for the past couple of years, we've only missed like 2 months out of the whole year where we haven't put on an event.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the Utah MMA has blown up where we have, a lot of the guys getting into the bigger shows,
Yeah.
some of the ladies, we have some of the women's MMA going on. Like one of the girls that I follow, her name's Brenda Enriquez. She went on to compete in Mexico for Combates Americas. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what it was called. And, she's fire, she was undefeated until recently, but
Okay. And
we,
and and do you still actively train and compete, or you're just like swamped with being a promoter for Steel Fist Friday night? How's that working out for you?
so I just had a baby 2 years ago. And so I took some time off of training. I've trained here and there, but then I had surgeries. So I had a triple hernia surgery just recently, and I'm still in recovery from that. I'm kind of, scared to get knee on belly because I
No.
have that hernia mesh. But I mean, it's just a fear of mine, I guess. But once I feel strong enough, I'll probably go back to it. My husband, he's actively training still. So he fights in MMA. he's a still fist fighter,
Mm-hmm.
and he's in recovery because one of his fights he fractured his jaw and had to
Oh
have
wow.
his jaw wired. So I mean, he's still in recovery, getting back into it. So I mean,
Wow.
we'll probably be going to the gym tonight. The gym
Mm-hmm.
that we go to now here in Utah is called Agima
What
MMA
was
and
that?
Jiu-Jitsu. Agima.
Okay, okay. And
So
how
it's run.
excuse me, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So it's one of our pit instructors from back in the day. His name's Dane. He's actually the owner of the gym and the head coach of the fight team. And so me and him go way back because he was one of my um, gi instructors when I started at the pit. And, he got me all the way up to my blue belt. And then I kind of stopped training in the gi. It's hot. It gets really hot.
Right. Do you prefer no gi or do you prefer gi? Because, first of all, I tell my students all the time, for those that don't know, I used to run a school and stuff for karate, but I used to tell them all the time, like, you're not going to walk around life in your gi.
Right.
You're not going to walk around barefoot, first of all.
Right.
Right. So you're going to have
You're
shoes
not. You're
on.
never gonna start a fight scooting on your butt.
Exactly. That's my favorite one. I only seek out those that stand for, start from the stand up position.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Me and the kids, like when the kids were training, I never let them start a competition on their butts. Like you had to start standing and get those
Hmm.
takedowns, and
Right.
it's really hard when they want to start, rolling from the ground. I'm like, no, let's get some takedowns in. So I like that a lot, and I implemented that a lot in my kids' training.
That's
Um,
good.
the gi, I like them both, right? But obviously, no gi is more comfortable, but you have more control in the gi. I feel like as a female against males, I can have more control in the gi with my grips, and
Mhm.
so it kind of gives me a little bit of a more advantage with the guys. But with girl on girl, no gi all the way.
Right. Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, how did you end up in the role of promoting of for the Steel Fist Fight Night?
So as you know, everybody knows me here. I have so
Mhm.
many connections and followers, and I'm just very sociable with all the MMA community. And so that helped me. I'm really good friends with the Still Fist promoters, the owners, and I'm quite bossy. Naturally, I have a lot of authority. So I'm tall. I'm, 5'11" and a half. I'm pretty strong. Everybody knows me as training, and everybody's seen me compete. And so, I mean, I have a lot of respect in the community, and people just listen very well. And I've never had any issues with anybody. So my bosses were like, you know what, you're really good at what you do. And, I micromanage. That's just what I do. I get shit done
Right.
is what they say.
Hey, you got to get shit done. You got to get it done. And
Yeah.
I tell
Cause
people that you might not like my methods, but my outcome is stellar.
yeah. So, we do the weigh-ins, and a lot of the fighters, when they're weighing in, they're not feeling good. They're grumpy. They just want to get shit done. And,
They're
who better to have
backstage.
there, than a pretty lady, helping them weigh in and get their shit done, their paperwork, pre-fight physicals and all that stuff. And my voice carries. So when I instruct them to do stuff, they just listen.
And was it a natural crossover? You know, I don't know who was before you, but obviously the position was open and you filled the need, and you're doing a good
Well,
job from what I hear down the pipeline. And so was there any resistance from the
so
boys?
back in the day when Still Fist first started, um, there was no position for me. I was just everybody was just kind of getting everything done as fast as they could. Like people were walking around, like the owners would walk around and do stuff, and over time, my position became available because I made it. Like I started doing everything and helping everybody and just getting it done, and it took a lot of the weight off of the owners. And they're like, you know what, you do awesome. We need you, and you know that's how it developed. Because at the beginning there was no position. Nobody did what I do. And then I used to help out with other promotions, but then those other promotions kind of died down. There wasn't as many. So Still Fist has been going since like, I don't know, 2010, 2011, probably before then, before I even started. And so Still Fist is the longest standing in Utah. A lot of the other shows kind of couldn't keep it together. I don't know how to explain it. Like
Hmm.
they'd have to cancel their shows. And so a lot of the Utah fighters got sick of it because it's like, they're cutting weight for 6 weeks training and then their show gets canceled, the whole show.
Right.
So that's never happened with Still Fist. So, we have a huge MMA community here. We
And
like to fuel people.
how have you been going through this whole pandemic craze? Have the doors still been open, so to speak?
So it hit us pretty hard. We went almost a year, without knowing what to do for our shows, and we had to limit our people and the crowds and, fighters, and just the testing is just unreliable because some fighters, just even our last show, a fighter tested positive for COVID and they were going to scratch his fight.
Hmm.
But I told the doctor, I was like, no, he tested positive because he has the antibodies in his system still. He already had COVID, 2 months ago. He has live antibodies and that's what's showing up on your test. He doesn't actually have COVID. So,
Right.
I mean, it was an argument, back and forth with the doctor. It's hard because we don't want to scratch fights, but the testing that they have available can't determine if it's antibodies or active COVID, and we just can't handle that.
Right.
It's rough.
Did you try to do I seen a lot of promotions out there were doing like online fights, cards and stuff like that. Did you guys go that route or
No, we kept our crowd live and at their own risk, and everybody was really good with the mask mandates and the social distancing and stuff like that. We didn't have any issues with that because Utah MMA is very tight knit. All of our fans are the same fans since 2010,
hmm,
so they know how it goes. They have a lot of respect for the show, and they know that if they mess up, then we can't have shows.
right.
So it just ruins it for everybody. So a lot of the fans are family members of fighters because Utah is, you know, just very tight community. So everybody knows everybody. We don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Right. And you said you just had a baby. So congratulations on that. And how do
Thanks.
you you're welcome. And how do you feel about at what age children should start learning martial arts? I say
So
3 years old, depending
yes,
on
I think
what kind of three. There's mature three, and then there's three
yeah.
three. Well, they're three,
Well,
so we
you
can't
gotta
expect a
understand.
whole lot. But there's a difference if you're looking at it from a teaching standpoint.
Yeah. So babies learn what their parents show them. What parents do, babies learn. So like if you're teaching your kid good balance, it starts there. Everything starts with good balance, good reinforcement. So I mean, we teach kids very young, and in this family, like we have, um, my son is in wrestling. He's 6 years old. He just started wrestling, and he's done it before. He's watched his dad do all the warm ups because we actively take our babies to the gym. My baby was probably 2 months old when she went to the gym and laid on the mats for the first time,
So,
and
so
so
are
they
they
grow
doing
up
the
learning that.
they're doing the collegiate wrestling thing, not the
Yeah, they
WWE
they
like we're out
watch.
here playing WWE like on 2KW with
Yeah,
playing the they watch that.
and we have mats in the front room.
Hmm.
So the kids at any time, if they want to wrestle, if me and my husband want to get down and wrestle, we grapple here and there here at our house, just to keep our skills sharp. So I mean, it's an active thing where our baby, she's walking around seeing it all the time. She's familiar with the mats and familiar with the gym, and I'm sure it'll come naturally to her because it looks like so much fun.
Right, because I say naturally, we as human creatures, we already have like it's on our genes. you know, because
Yeah,
nobody
hand to
just
hand
stay
combat.
there hitting. If even if you're the most passive person in the world and somebody comes up to you and smack you, you're gonna put your hands up. You're gonna do something. That's a natural instinct.
Yeah,
It's just up to you to get on the path to find how to use that natural instinct and train it over and
yeah.
over and over again. Become a way of life.
I think it's super important for all parents to try to put their kids in martial arts, not just for self defense, but for confidence and respect and obedience, all those things matter in childhood. And grip fighting is so important for kids in elementary school. Grip fighting, um, even trying to break their wrist away from somebody that's grabbing their wrist and trying to pull on them, breaking that wrist away is so important for kids. And so I kind of implement that with all the kids. That's like the first thing they got to know is how to grip fight and get their hands free. So
Right. And the different training between little boys and little girls is different, right? Like you said, you were a victim of abuse and stuff, so it's different. I teach my girl students a little bit more girl tactable things, of course, when they pull
oh
on their
yeah,
hair and stuff like that.
yeah, how to
And
get your ponytail free, get your hand free, the rape choke, all that stuff. Like I have a daughter that is 18 years old,
hmm
and she was so active in jiu-jitsu since she was 11 years old. She loved it so much, and she even got to roll, with Court McGee. She got to roll with Brock Jardine, Steven Seiler, some of these big names where they took their time and taught her a lot of things when she was so small. And when she got into middle school, she went into wrestling, and she was a very good wrestler, but she competed against almost all boys. So that was hard on her because,
that
the
makes it
odds were
better.
just stacked against her. She really enjoyed it, and she never gave up. She kept going, and now she's gonna start training to fight in the cage. So I mean, I'm really excited about that because I have my older boys. Um, so my oldest son, he's 22 now, but
hmm
when we competed at Naga, he had to compete against Jeremy Horn's top student, and he choked him out.
Awesome.
Beautiful, beautiful. Like I was sitting there coaching my son, and Jeremy Horn was right next to me coaching his student. And, it was a huge moment for me. My son didn't really know, but I know.
Right.
And now me and Jeremy Horn are, we're good friends. He hosts a lot of our weigh-ins at his gym. So I mean, it's a lot of fun, and the kids are they just love it. Like if you teach them to love it, they'll love it. But if you teach them to fear it, they'll fear it. You know. So it depends on the parent.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You should see me on the sidelines of some of the competitions with my students. Like I have more fun watching them.
You know what? I was just telling my husband the other night when our child was wrestling. He had his first match of the season, and he's only 6 years old, and so he's 49 pounds. We were. It was really hard to contain our excitement. Like we were out of control on the mats. All the other parents were like, "What's wrong with you guys?" And we were just like, "Rah." And he loved it. He loved it. He was there doing the little bear stance, and my husband was coaching him, which was great because, the other coaches from wrestling are busy with other kids, and they know that we can handle it. We
Right.
can step in if needed because we know what we're doing. So it's
That's
just a
awesome.
lot of fun.
That's awesome. And for the Steel Fist fight night, I'm sure you're at the helm for being, active in the women's division there. What's up in the future for Steel Fist and the women's division? What's happening over there? The big names that are happening. What's popping off? Who's fighting their ass off over there? Who's a name to look out for? I had a interview with Tanya Evinger a few weeks back, and she's like, "Yeah, I want to talk about getting my belt back from Invicta. I don't know if they want me back, but I was like, fuck them.
Right?
They don't want you. You go where you want it."
So big names that we have, obviously Brenda Enriquez. I love her. She's one of the Latin fighters, and she's got so much talent, so much talent. And then another one of our still fist fighters, she trains out in Vegas. Her name's Caitlin Neal,
hmm
and she's so amazing. Like I've been a fan of hers since she was training with my daughter when my daughter was 11 years old. So, I mean, it's been a long time. We started at the pit together, and she was probably one of the fighters that gave me a lot of my first bruises on the mats. Because I was just starting, and they were already, on the fight team, and they were just like smashing me into the mat. But we have a good relationship, and she's one to watch out for because she's beautiful, she's talented, she's strong. Um, she has active TikToks every single day, and she does a lot of the women's athletic and stuff like that. She has like her own athletic line called Bad Athletic. So I mean, she's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, you got to stay active. You got to stay active in this social media world here.
Yeah,
We're
she's fun to watch.
you know. So who's your favorite professional fighter? Mine is
I'm gonna tell you,
mine is Machida for the guys because he trained Shotokan Karate. That's what I live, breathe, and train and study.
right?
And then I'm a Ronda Rousey guy because I'm a big wrestling fan, and she crossed over, and I think she did awesome. But that's just my thought. Not everybody agrees.
So, professional fighter out of Utah is gonna be my husband,
Right.
Nick Martinez.
Okay.
Um,
Right. Let them know. Yeah, I don't. You're
yeah,
your own person. You're out here doing your own thing, taking over the world, and women's
I'm his
power out
biggest
there.
fan.
There you go. I'm not gonna overshadow you by saying who your husband is.
And then we have Andrei Arlovsky. He's
Oh
my
yeah.
favorite UFC fighter. He's my favorite. Like, I met him in Vegas, and he was just so freaking nice. So
He's
nice, and
doing
I was like,
something with
man.
all elite wrestling. That's awesome. I like him too.
And then out of the female fighters, I'm gonna go with Thug Rose because I adore her.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And for the next promotion for Steel Fist Fight Night, is it every fight night or is it sporadically, quarterly? How could they find you? How could they get
So
in contact with you if they want to try out for Fight Night for Steel
so
Fist or what?
anybody that wants to try out can go to stillfistfight.com, and then they have the form on there to enroll. It's the
Hmm.
contact us form. And we have our next event December 17th here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And we have fight nights probably once a month. We only take off probably 2 months out of the year, and that's for hunting and I think summer, July and
Ooh,
I think
what do you
July
hunt?
and I can't remember what other month, but it rotates. We rotate the months that we want to take off.
What do you
But other
hunt?
than that, Stillfist is pretty active. It's the most active MMA event here in Utah.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but you're like, I go hunting, and I'm like, ooh, what do you hunt?
Oh, no, no, no. Like they go hunting. The owners go hunting, so they take
Oh,
a month
oh,
off
okay.
for hunting and stuff like that, but I don't.
Oh, okay. I thought you go out there too. Do you eat?
Um,
Did they bring you back some deer or something for you to try?
you know what? They always talk about all their meat and all their ducks and rabbits and all that stuff they get, their turkeys, and I don't know, I'm okay.
I got friends out in Kentucky, and every time I go down there, and they're like, "Yep, give you that deer chili." I'm like, "Come on, let's go, bring it on." And they're looking at me
Yeah,
like, "Is he gonna like it? The city boy
I'm
gonna
really
like
not
it?"
into all that stuff. I've had a lot of people offer me alligator, snake, stuff like that. I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't want to try it. Even, I'm Mexican, so people in Mexico they eat cow tongue and cow brains and
I've
cachete
eaten
and all
cow
that stuff.
brains.
I'm okay. I'm
I'm a
okay
picky
without it.
eater too. That's funny. So that I eat deer. I like it, but I've eaten cow brains. They told me afterwards. I was like, just tastes like chicken fat.
No, see, I'm okay. I'm good without it.
I was on the streets of Korea when I was in the Navy, and I ate chicken on a stick. When I get back to the ship, they're like, "What you do?" I was like, "Man, I got drunk till like 4 in the morning. Then we ate chicken on a stick." They're like, "Wait, wait, from where?" The lady on the corner, and they're like,
That was
"No,
rat, right?
that was cat." You're close.
Cat.
Yeah, it was the softest chicken in the world.
Oh man.
Tasted good, but I
Yeah,
can't
no,
eat it
I'm okay.
before. Here, have this cat. No, 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 thank you. All right, so we're gonna close off here, and how could people? What if somebody wants to book you and find more information about yourself? How do they contact you?
So I'm on Facebook at Misty Lynn Martinez, and I think I have a heading for Stillfist Fight Night is my cover photo. Stillfistfight.com is where they can sign up to fight. Um, I'm on Instagram, Misty MMA, and on TikTok, I think Free Spirit 21 or something. Everything's connected to my Instagram and Facebook. I mean, one thing leads to the other,
Awesome.
but it's pretty simple.
All right. And if you're ever in the Orlando area, get in contact with me. I would love to train. It'll be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Florida and train at America Top Team.
Mm-hmm. I haven't
That
gotten
would
a
be a fun
chance to
place.
go around, but I'll get around to it.
Yeah.
I
Me
know
and
how it
Din
can be when
Thomas
I
go
gotta.
way back.
Yeah. I just don't want to walk up in there. Hey, want to train?
Yeah,
Yeah. But that's
that'll
awesome.
work. I'll look you up.
Yep, that'd be awesome. That'd be a pleasure, and I am honored to meet you. And we'll keep in touch, and we'll have this talk again further down the road, and we'll keep in contact with you and see what's new with Steel Fist Fight Night and all
And
the new
people,
promotions. Go
if
ahead.
people want to watch Still Fist to check it out,
Yeah.
our live events air on Blitz TV, Blitz Entertainment. So
Mhm.
it's BLITZZ Entertainment, or just blitz.com. We air all of our Still Fist Fight Nights on there, and you can see them from back in 2010 when they started. We've got some of the old school stuff on there, new stuff. So it's pretty fun.
You got the whole library there on Blitz, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Fighters.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
it's great for fighters to go back and watch old tape.
Right. And it was a total different demographic back then. You'd go look back at it, kind of like how the UFC first started. One of them old fights where they were graphic. Like, whoa.
Yeah, they were so much fun.
They were. I was hooked. When I seen Gracie take down that big sumo wrestler, I was done.
Oh
I was
yeah,
like,
I think that. You know what? I actually haven't spoken to anybody in MMA that has not mentioned that. That's what hooked them, was seeing the Gracies. Like that hooked them, and that was forever in their minds.
That was specially tailored for that, for them,
Yeah.
for everybody to just display Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it was awesome. I was like, what, 19 or something like that, probably a little younger. Yes.
I think I was like, I don't know. I think I was like, 'cause I'm 40, so I was pretty young too.
I'm 44. You're making me look old. I was like, man, I need to shave.
It was a very good impression. Even seeing Butterbean, I was like, wow, back in the day, that was some good stuff.
It was. All right. Well, thank you very much. And we'll keep in touch. Thank you very much. And I'll keep an eye out on Steel Fist and keep shooting you guys out on the show.
Hey, perfect. I'll be watching.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, guys. That was it. Misty Lynn Martinez, Steel Fist Fight Night promoter and marketing director. That was very awesome. And what can I say? We're going to keep bringing you top names throughout the fight world, virtual or not. So, see you next time. Sam Schluter.